The Israel-Hezbollah conflict has reignited, sparking fears of a wider war in the Middle East. Israel launched airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, claiming a preemptive strike against an imminent attack. Hezbollah retaliated with rocket fire into Israel. This latest exchange marks a dangerous escalation in the long-standing conflict between the two adversaries.
The Israeli military claims Hezbollah was preparing a large-scale attack. They targeted Hezbollah's missile launchers to prevent a significant escalation of violence. The extent of damage on both sides remains unclear. However, the sudden eruption of violence has sent shockwaves through the region.
Israel declared a state of emergency following the Hezbollah rocket attacks. Tel Aviv's airport briefly closed as a precaution. The recent violence has cast a shadow over planned ceasefire negotiations in Cairo. It further escalates tensions in a region already on edge.
The current conflict is the culmination of months of escalating tensions. A series of events, including targeted assassinations and retaliatory strikes, have fueled the fire. This timeline highlights key moments that have led to the current situation. In January, a Hamas leader was killed in Beirut. Israel was widely blamed for the assassination, although they did not claim responsibility. In retaliation, Hezbollah fired rockets into Israel. This sparked a chain reaction of attacks and counterattacks. In April, Israel conducted airstrikes on Iranian targets in Damascus, Syria. This marked the first time Iran directly attacked Israeli soil. The situation further deteriorated in July, when an Israeli airstrike in Gaza resulted in civilian casualties. Hezbollah responded with rocket attacks on Israel. The assassination of a senior Hezbollah leader in Beirut further inflamed tensions. This was followed by the killing of a top Hamas official in Tehran. These targeted killings significantly increased cross-border strikes. They also diminished any remaining hope for a ceasefire.
The international community is watching the escalating conflict with deep concern. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has taken a proactive stance. They are engaging in both military and diplomatic efforts to prevent a wider war. The U.S. has deployed significant naval forces to the region. These include 2 aircraft carrier groups and an attack submarine. This show of force aims to deter Iran and its allies from further attacks on Israel. It also underscores the U.S. commitment to Israel's security.
In addition to military deployments, the U.S. is actively engaged in diplomacy. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III has spoken with his Israeli counterpart. They discussed strategies to prevent the conflict from spiraling out of control and reaffirmed U.S. support for Israel. The situation remains tense, and the U.S. is closely monitoring developments while coordinating with regional partners. As the conflict escalates, so too do the humanitarian concerns. The potential for civilian casualties and displacement is a growing worry.
Aid organizations are preparing for a possible humanitarian crisis. The recent airstrikes and rocket attacks have already caused damage to infrastructure and homes.
The displacement of civilians is a major concern. The continuous threat of violence makes it unsafe for many to remain in their homes.
Hospitals and medical facilities are also at risk. The disruption of essential services like water and electricity could exacerbate the humanitarian situation.
The international community must be prepared to provide aid and support to those affected by the conflict. The recent escalation in the Israel-Hezbollah conflict is a stark reminder of the volatile situation in the Middle East. The potential for this conflict to spiral into a wider regional war is a grave concern.
The involvement of international actors, particularly the United States, is crucial in preventing further escalation. Diplomatic efforts must continue alongside military deployments to find a peaceful resolution.
The humanitarian impact of this conflict cannot be ignored. Protecting civilians and ensuring their access to aid and essential services must be a priority.
The path to peace is fraught with challenges. However, the pursuit of dialogue and de-escalation remains the only viable option to prevent further suffering and instability in the region.